And good morning, everyone. Welcome to Abington-Avon High School in Abington, Illinois, as TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH, brings the Great Western Shootout on this glorious, breezy Saturday morning, 9 a.m. start time for game number 1 of 8 today. I'm Dwayne Hulett. Grant Hicks is alongside. Thanks for joining us on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. Game number 1 of the day pits the Ridgewood Spartans against the Monmouth-Roseville Titans, a couple teams that aren't too far apart. This is one of 2 or 3 games today. Actually, I guess 4 if you count the girls' game, probably. Yeah, we'll see. We'll look as we go. But at any rate, that pit teams that are relatively close to each other, that might know each other. The other games of the day have teams from distances away. Usually one is local, one's from a ways away. They'll come here to the Great Western Shootout. It should be some great basketball. There are some really good teams here today, and you'll get to watch them all if you stay with us today here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. What I do ask that you do, if you're watching right now, please share the link to this. Let your friends that are fans of Ridgewood or Monmouth-Roseville hop on and watch the game this morning. It's a cool day to be traveling, but it's a great day to sit at home in your recliner and watch it on the big screen TV, and that's what you can do with TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. If you would be so kind, you could also subscribe to our channel. We would greatly appreciate that. We do have super chats and all that stuff available if you're into that kind of thing as well, but we don't push that. But if you're willing and want to do something like that, you can. Otherwise, we love to have the live chat be active. Looks like they're going to do the national anthem. So we'll let you hear the national anthem. We were just discussing whether they're going to do it before the first game or when. One of the softest national anthems I've ever heard played. Sorry about that, folks. We tried to get it to you as best we could there, but it is time for the starting lineups of game number 1 of the day. 8 games on the agenda here at Abington-Avon High School. Monmouth-Roseville starting lineup getting started first. Jerome Jackson, number 4. C.J. Johnson, number 5. Silas Braun. Where's number 10? Bresnahan, Nick Lewis Bresnahan, number 12. And number 34, Nico Avadano. He'll be the starter. Jake Sotos, the coach for the Monmouth-Roseville Titans. And the Spartans of Ridgewood up next. Number 2, Wes Sandberg. Riley Couture, number 13. Garrett Vincent, number 22. He's a junior. Ty Anderson, number 30, a senior. And Jake Johnson, a senior, number 33. Those are the 5 starters for Ridgewood. That's where we'll start things off here. As you can see, we have the scoreboard up in the corner today to show you the running time, the score, and the period. We won't have the fouls on there. It just took up too much space, so that's why we cut it off the way we did. We will try to keep track of those things for you. Ridgewood should be the home team by the way they were announced. We'll see if that's how it works out on the scoreboard for certain, but it's going to be in to jump it up. Jerome Jackson for Monmouth-Roseville. They're on the right, and Jake Johnson on the left for the Spartans. It's won by Jackson, and it's going to be Monmouth-Roseville with the basketball. Going to come up top. That was Braun with it. He comes over near side to Johnson. Johnson goes to Affendano. Now a three on the way by Jackson is off, no good. And a foul is going to be called. It's going to be on Monmouth-Roseville's number 5, C.J. Johnson. His first. And Monrose are the guests on the scoreboard. With the ball now trapped over to the side. That was nearly 5 seconds. That was Anderson. Now it's going to come up top. A three on the way by Couture is off, no good. Rebound long to Sandberg. Another long three this time is off the back of the rim. That was Vincent. Inbounding is Couture. He gets it over to Sandberg. Sandberg goes to Anderson now. Anderson comes up top to Vincent. Right side. That is Couture. Skips it up to Johnson. Johnson's going to drive. Bounces across the lane. Nice look. And the first two of the game goes to Ty Anderson. Near side now it comes. On the dribble still was Lewis Bresnahan. Now skips it out. Bresnahan with it again. On the dribble. Oh, nice spin move and a bucket for Nick Avendano. He gets the first two of the game for the Titans. And we're knotted at 2 apiece here in the first quarter. Looking at a three, not taking it that time, but he's going to roll in and get called for the travel. That's Ryle Couture gets the turnover. And it's going to be back to the Titans with a chance to take the lead here. They did win the tip. They had the first possession. Braun gives it off to Avendano, who gives it to Lewis Bresnahan now. And a travel as C.J. Johnson shuffled his feet, trying to draw some contact, didn't get it. And we continue through here. And quarter number 1, game number 1 of 8 here at the Great Western Shootout. You're watching TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. Again, if you would be so kind, share the link in your Facebook or whatever social media you prefer to use. Let people know the game is here. We'll have all 8 of them today, and then we're going to call a double dribble on Ty Anderson. And it's a turnover back to the Titans. So dueling turnovers here early in this one. A 9 a.m. start is early for pretty much everybody, so it may take these guys a while to get their feet underneath them. And now a pass knocked away by Anderson, but he can't control it. It goes out of bounds. Possession back to Monmouth-Roseville. Up top, and Avendano, get it out in a second. C.J. Johnson for 3. It's hard off the glass, no good. Rebound to Ryle Couture. Johnson into the paint. The left-hander throws it up, bounces it around, and it bounces off finally. Anderson with the rebound. He kicks it back out. The shot no good for Garrett Vincent, and it goes back the other way. End of the corner it goes. A 3 on the way is long, no good by C.J. Johnson. The rebound and the putback is good by Silas Braun. He gets his first 2. And with 4:30 remaining here, And the pass goes out of bounds. Vincent was trying to get it down to Johnson. And just a little out of his reach. A turnover, and it's 4-2 Titans here in the first quarter. There's C.J. Johnson with it. He's going to give it off to Jerome Jackson. Now Jackson, a nice crossover move. He goes to the rack and gets the bucket to fall. Jerome Jackson gets his first two. Sweet ball handling skills there up top on the crossover. That's Sandberg going to dump it out to Johnson. Back to Sandberg. Johnson's going to drive in, puts up the shot, and they're going to call him for a travel. A couple subs coming in for the Spartans, including number 11, Ryan Francis, and number 55, Roy Sandberg. Timeout on the floor. Going to be called to Monmouth-Roseville. It's a 30-second timeout. We'll take a quick break as well. 6-2, Monmouth-Roseville with the lead here from the Great Western Shootout.
I grew up in a small town in Missouri, and I like the feel of community. I like knowing the people that I take care of and knowing the people around me, providing care for someone that you know is in this community and helping them to get better.
And welcome back very quickly there as Monmouth-Roseville wanted to talk about something. They take their first time out. They have 3 fulls and a 30 left. As we get ready to go here for a couple subs. First subs of the game came in. It was Ryan Francis and Roy Sandberg for Ridgewood into the game. Nick Lewis Bresnahan had it there for a second. Now C.J. Johnson with it. He looks down low to Lewis Bresnahan. He kicks it out. Now down on the baseline it goes to Avendano. His shot's off, no good. C.J. Johnson with the rebound for the Titans. Avendano looks down low. Braun has it stripped away, but they're going to call a foul, I think. Well, okay then. Braun's going to pick up his first foul. Team second. Didn't see that one coming, really. Called him for the elbow. Now full court press coming from the Monrose Titans, and Sandberg beats it pretty easily. Gives it to Francis. Down low it goes, and the bucket to Jake Johnson. It's 6-4. Avendano with it down low, out talk to Jackson. Now it's going to be Braun driving, skips it over to Lewis Bresnahan. He looks down to C.J. Johnson. Johnson goes to the rack. His shot's off, no good. Rebound was taken by Grant Vincent, but it was stolen away by Johnson. I think Avendano got away with a travel there, but they call a jump ball. It's going to be possession to Ridgewood. 2:39 remaining here in the first quarter. First game of 8 today at the Great Western Shootout. And a steal, and Jerome Jackson's going to do the layup back the other way. He's got 4. Treble now is another steal coming maybe. Nope, Sandberg gathers it back, but a timeout. Nope, they call the 10-second violation before the timeout. Coach Vincent was just about ready to call the timeout when the whistle blew for the 10-second violation. So it is a turnover back to Monrose. They lead 8-4. Weathersfield and Farmington up next here at the Great Western Shootout. Then the first game of teams that probably never see each other is Knoxville and Cerro Gordo Bement. They play at noon here, as we'll have that one as well. So make sure you tune in as much as you can today. We'd love to have you all day long. Jackson shot off, no good. Rebound to Vincent, and back the other way they go. Vincent with it. No, that's not Vincent, excuse me. That was Couture who's back in. Johnson gives it to Vincent. His 3 is short. C.J. Johnson with the rebound for the Monroe's Titans, and Avendano is going to get 2 shots. We'll see who the foul's on for the foul's on number 11, Ryan Francis. His first, team's first. Two shots here for Avendano. First one is good. Couple subs coming into the game for actually a trio of subs looked like they came in. Number 22, Leo Mahoney. Number 13, Darian Smith. And number 3, Jake Steele, all in for Monrose. Second one's good as well. Give Avendano 4 points on the game. Skip across Sandberg, breaks the press, has it tipped away. Coming up with it is Darren Smith. Avendano back to Smith. Smith puts the shot up and in. Fresh off the bench, and Smith gets a bucket. It's 12-4 Monrose now as the Spartans struggling a little bit against this pressure of Monmouth-Roseville. Vincent down to Johnson. Johnson's going to try and back in. His shot's blocked by C.J. Johnson. One Johnson blocks the other Johnson. Jake Johnson for Ridgewood. C.J. Johnson for Monrose. The jump ball is called on the block, and it'll go to Monmouth-Roseville. And just like that, Ridgewood tries to respond with their own press. C.J. Johnson, Avendano, left corner, good for 3. He's got 7. Vincent takes it across, skips it over to, trying to see who that is down there. Couture, I think. No, that was Francis. There's a 3 by Vincent. Rebounded by Leo Mahoney for the Titans, and it comes down in the corner. C.J. Johnson had a look at a wide-open 3, decided to drive instead. Got his shot blocked, got it back. Smith with the rebound on the second miss. Up top it goes. Mahoney for 3. It's in and out, no good. Francis with the rebound for the Spartans. Francis on the dribble. Left side goes to Sandberg. 3 seconds remaining. 2. And it's going to be tied up, and that's how the quarter is going to end. End of the first here at the Great Western Shootout of game number 1. It's 15-4 Monrose over the Spartans of Ridgewood. We'll take a break, and we'll be back on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH, in just about 30 seconds.
At Western Illinois University, leathernecks don't just blend in. Our purple stands out. Our students are innovative, creative, and resilient. At WIU, there's limitless potential, with campuses in Macomb, the Quad Cities, and online. Visit wiu.edu/potential to become a leatherneck and get an education that stands out.
And welcome back to the Great Western Shootout here at Abington-Avon High School in Abington, Illinois. It's the first of 8 games. We're at the end of quarter number 1. I don't know what math that tells me, but that means we have, 31 quarters of basketball left here today? Is that right? 8 times 4 is 32, right? We got 1 down. I think that's what it tells me. 31 quarters of basketball left. And Monrose put the press on in quarter number 1 about halfway through after a 30-second timeout, and the game really opened up for the Titans. They lead by 11 now, 15-4 here in the opening game of the Great Western Shootout. Going to be Monrose basketball to... No, it should be Ridgewood basketball. Yeah. I had to look down at my list. I was going to say Monroe's got a jump at the end there that gave it back to Ridgewood. It's Ridgewood basketball to open the second quarter of play. Francis inbounds to Sandberg, and here we go. Quarter number 2 is underway. 15-4 the score. Monmouth-Roseville with the lead over Ridgewood. Sandberg on the dribble. Look to Johnson. Going to get it there. Johnson's going to go up against Avendano and misses the shot. Smith with the rebound, and he pushes it back the other way. Tries to go through a whole host of white jerseys He got hit by about 3 of them, and Sandberg couldn't save it inbounds. It's going to stay with Monrose. Inbounding for Monrose is going to be Jake Steele, it would appear. Steele comes up top to Avendano. To Smith. Back to Avendano. Oh, nice little felt which way the defender was leaning. Leaned back against him, got the pressure to see where he's at, and spun the other direction. That's a great post move. He couldn't finish, though. 7:20 remaining and clock running here. And Couture loses the ball. Avendano comes up with it, and they're going to call a travel, as that's not a very good way to pass the ball to Mahoney. Avendano had it and threw it right to him as he was turned around. He has to almost catch that, turn around, and put it down before he takes even one step, and that's a pretty tough thing to do, and he was on the run. Sandberg gets it over to Couture. Couture on the dribble across half court, lobs it down to Francis. Now to Johnson from about 14 foot. His jumper's good. Johnson's got his 4th point. Smith tries to go across the lane, loses it on the pass attempt, then dives after it, gets it back. Now they're diving all over the floor for it, and it's going to go off of, I guess it's going to be Tyler Vinicum, who is in the game. Must have been, they said, the last one to touch it. As you could see, it was right behind the bench. We couldn't see for sure who got it from our angle, but Couture is going to take it across, and they're going to call a foul, possibly on Smith. We'll see. It's either Steele or Smith. It is Smith. His first. Team's second. Team's third, excuse me. Wrong team, that's the reason why. Oh, nice bounce pass from Vincent to Couture, and Couture is going to get the bucket to fall. Ridgewood has just 1 foul. Short on the shots was Vinicum. Timeout charged to the Ridgewood Spartans. It's a full timeout. We'll take a break as well. We'll be back on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH, in just about 30 seconds or so.
I chose MDH. We moved here, and I was researching different places that would allow me to VBAC, have a vaginal birth after C-section, and the doctors here do encourage that, and so I chose that after looking online, and I wouldn't want to deliver anywhere else because they all go above and beyond, and they're so kind and actually care about you.
I see acute injuries on the field. I see ankle sprains. I see ACL knee injuries, as well as in the clinic. It's very rewarding to see them from on-the-field injury to rehab to transition back to their event.
Hey, welcome back to Abington-Avon High School, Great Western Shootout. Game number 1, quarter number 2. Advanced Rehab and Sports Medicine sponsoring the Great Western Shootout this year. 6:13 remains here in quarter number 2 as we get ready to go after the full timeout from Ridgewood. They have 2 fulls and 2 30s remaining. Monrose did take a 30 in quarter number 1. Not a whole lot of fouls have been called as of yet. Just 3 on Monrose, 1 on Ridgewood. Francis with it. Give and go as he went to Couture. It's stolen away, outletted to Jerome Jackson, who gets it to Lewis Bresnahan, who's back in the game. That's the hyphenated Lewis Bresnahan. C.J. Johnson back up to Lewis Bresnahan. Also in the game is James Blackman. A nice look inside. Johnson can't finish, though. Gets his own rebound, puts it up. It's off again, and he tracks it down again. Over in the corner it goes. Lewis Bresnahan for 3. It's off, no good. Johnson with another rebound. We're going to set the offense back up. Now it goes, oh, that was Lewis Bresnahan trying to get it to Johnson, but Sandberg steps in the passing lane, steals it away. Couture with it. Back to Sandberg. Francis had it momentarily there. And somebody zigged while somebody else zagged. Braun traces it down in the backcourt and then throws it away and then kicked away by Sandberg because the pass was so poor from Braun to Jackson that Sandberg, trailing to play, trying to catch up in a hurry, kicked it out of bounds. You can tell it's 9 o'clock in the morning, give or take a few minutes. Johnson. Down low it goes to Blackman. Blackman lost the ball, but again Sandberg kicks it out of bounds. Couture goes out for Ridgewood. Checking in Sean Watt, number 42. He's battling with Braun down there. Braun loses it again, and it's kicked out again by the Spartans. This time it was Vincent that kicked it out. Inbound to Braun. Top to C.J. Johnson. Down the corner, Lewis Bresnahan. And a shuffle of the feet gets a traveling call after all that. That's about as long of a possession as you're going to see with that many rebounds. And now there's a steal. Lewis Bresnahan goes to the rack. His shot's up and in. Gets his first two. That's the first points of the quarter, actually, for Monrose. Lewis Bresnahan is going to get bailed out. He was too far under to shoot that by the time the shot went up, but he got fouled. Foul's going to be on number 22, Garrett Vincent. His first, team second. Two shots coming for number 12, Nick Lewis Bresnahan. He makes the first and makes the second. He's got 4, and it's back to an 11-point lead for the Titans. They got to get it across. And because he lost the basketball trying to get it across half court at the very last second, it is a turnover on a 10-second violation. That's the second 10-second violation in this game. It's another timeout charged by Ridgewood. It's a full timeout. We'll take a break as well, and we'll be back on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH right after this.
MTC Communications is building a high-speed fiber network in our community, and we're putting priority on the areas with the greatest interest. That means we need your input to let us know you want us to build fiber in your area first. Experience the speed and convenience of fiber internet by visiting our special website and registering. Let us know you want fiber internet today and make your voice heard.
MDH Sport Medicine Rehab is just not for the athlete. We see a variety of ages, getting them from having pain to no pain to get back to their normal activities and their prior level of function.
And welcome back to TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. 4:03 remaining here in the first half, 19-8. Monrose with the lead. It was 11 at the end of the first quarter, just as it is now. It was 15-4. Neither team has really done much offensively here in the second quarter, although Ridgewood has matched their output from quarter number one. Monrose has hit the brakes a little bit offensively. We'll see if they can get things going. During the break off air, we were talking about the number of turnovers. Both teams, definitely Ridgewood, I would say for sure, has more turnovers than they do points. Jerome Jackson misses a gimme. C.J. Johnson misses a putback attempt, and he gets his own rebound again. He's got like 7 offensive rebounds in this game already, and he's going to get 2 free throws. Foul's going to be on Sandberg. Wes Sandberg, the freshman, picking up his first foul. Team's third. C.J. Johnson shooting 2. He's not scored yet. And misses the first. Once again, live chat is open. Hop in there. Let us know where you're watching from, who you're cheering for. It's really cool as we get some teams that we don't normally get to see very often. See who's watching, and then that could have been over the line. He stepped over the line before it went through, but they did not call it. So 1 point. Now a steal. Lewis Bresnahan puts the shot up. Another give me miss and another steal as Vincent had it. Now C.J. Johnson goes and he count the basket. He'll have 3 and an old-fashioned three-point play attempt coming for the Monroe's. Fouls on number 33, Jake Johnson. That'll be his first, team's fourth. 1 free throw coming for C.J. Johnson. He was 1 for 2 in his first appearance just a few moments ago, and it's opened up to a 14-point lead, a chance to make it a 15-point lead here. He cannot. It's off back iron. Blackman tips it around. Johnson comes and gets another offensive rebound, puts it up and in. He's got 5. Johnson's going to try and get it across. He gets it knocked away. C.J. Johnson with a steal. He takes it back the other way. Puts the shot up and in. Johnson, give him 7 now. And the Monroe's Titans have pushed it to 18. Now a nice job of breaking the press that time. In the game is Owen Anderson there. Vincent with it for 3. It's off, no good. Rebound by Johnson. He's going to lose it out of bounds. Possession to Ridgewood. Couple subs coming in for, makes it a trio of subs coming in. Mahoney coming back in. Smith coming back in. And I can't see the other number. It's number 23. That's Jordan Watson coming in for Monroe's. C.J. Johnson with it. He's really came to life here. He's got 7 points in the last 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes there of the second quarter. Pass knocked away, picked up off the floor. Vincent had it. That's going to be Sandberg now. Wes Sandberg gives it to Watt, who Vincent a long 3. It's off, no good. C.J. Johnson another rebound. And he's going to dribble through 3 people, nearly loses it, gives it to Smith, who does lose it. Now they're going to fight for it, and Smith's going to be the last one to touch it as Watt was fighting with Smith on the sideline, and it rolls out of bounds off Smith, and possession back to Ridgewood. 26-8, Titans with the 18-point lead. It was just 11 about a minute and a half of game time ago, and C.J. Johnson went on a tear. Now a pass intended for Watt. It's tipped out of bounds by Darian Smith for Monroe's, and it'll stay with Ridgewood. And Anderson, who was not in position to get, he's trying to do the whole, and a travel is going to be called. Roy Sandberg, the sophomore, could have went up with the shot. He took the step like a Euro step, which is fine as long as you shoot it, but if you stop, it's a travel, and that's what he got called for. C.J. Johnson with it, 1:50 remaining. C.J. Johnson gets hammered. Probably going to be on Vincent, I'm guessing. It is on Vincent, his second, team's 5th. C.J. Johnson, a couple more free throws here. He's got 7 points, all here in the second quarter. 1:45 remaining. First one's off back iron, no good. Checking in for Ridgewood, number 24, Gavin Verhecke. Farmington's in the house. They come out and watch this second quarter here. Second one is good. Give him 8 now. He is, though, only 2 of 5 from the free throw line. Verhecke gives it up top to Watt. Vincent. No, it was Sandberg. And it went off of Anderson, I think. It happened so quick. I think it was off the ball handler, out of bounds. Possession to Monroe's. And they call a carry on Jordan Watson. Jordan Watson is a senior off the bench for Monrose. Sandberg, Wes Sandberg, does not look like a freshman. They have him listed as a freshman. Up top to Anderson, who's a sophomore. He's going to drive, and he's going to be blocked from behind in a big way by Leo Mahoney. Great first step. Mahoney just has too much size and came from behind and got the block on Anderson. Inbound to Sandberg as we approach the 1 minute mark. Mahoney, or excuse me, it is Mahoney. Comes up with it and he throws it away. We're down to 50 seconds as Verhecke came away with it. Sandberg trapped with it on the far side, throws it to the middle. Anderson comes up with it. Now Sandberg. Sandberg puts up the shot, and he didn't get the shot up before he came down, which makes it a travel and a turnover back to Monrose. 27-8, a 19-point lead, the largest lead of the game to this point for Monrose. Right side, Darian Smith with it. Smith's going to drive, a little hip check. Oh, nice pass across the lane to Watson, but Watson takes a couple shuffle steps, and it's a turnover with 21.6 seconds remaining. And a steal. Mahoney's going to go back the other way. Puts the shot up, off, no good. Rebound, go figure. C.J. Johnson missed that one. Got another rebound, and he just laid out Watts. And no foul called. Timeout by the official with 0.3 seconds remaining. Official timeout. Sean Watt flat got leveled by C.J. Johnson, and there was no foul called. And that'll be the end of the first half of play. 27-8, the lead for Monmouth-Roseville. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with some stats here as we move to half number 2 of the first game of the day here at the Great Western Shootout. We'll be right back on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH.
After my appointment that day, I just made up my mind that I'm going to have my baby here in Macomb and this hospital, because irrespective of where you're from, who you are, it's just their line of duty to make sure they give care, make you comfortable.
I told about the staff of MDH, they're all good. And you will get all the support you need. This is just the best place for you and your family.
And welcome back. It's halftime here at the Great Western Shootout as the Monmouth-Roseville Titans lead the Ridgewood Spartans 27-8 at the halfway point. I'm Dwayne Hulett. Grant Hicks is on the camera today. Thanks for joining us on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. We'll look at some stats here. For Ridgewood, only 8 points in the first half. That's an equal 4 per quarter. Monrose, on the other hand, had 15 and 13, or 15 and 12, excuse me. Ridgewood had 5 team fouls. The Titans had 3. Nobody in any foul trouble to speak of. Vincent has 2 fouls for Ridgewood. Nobody else in the entire game has more than 1 foul, so no real foul trouble here. 8 points, 2 off the hand of Jake Johnson, or 4 off the hand of Jake Johnson for Ridgewood, 2 for Ty Anderson, and 2 for Ryle Couture. For the Monrose Titans, 8 points, all in pretty much the last 4 minutes of the first half for C.J. Johnson. 4 points for Jerome Jackson, who really didn't play a whole lot in the second quarter at all. He scored his points early in the game. 4 points for Nick Lewis Bresnahan. He's a senior. All three of these guys are seniors. A very young Ridgewood team, a very experienced Monrose team. Silas Braun has 2 points. Nick Lewis Bresnahan, as I said, has 4. He's 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Darian Smith has 2. That's the first non-senior to score. And Nico Avendano, another junior, has 7 points. He scored all his in the first quarter. The Spartans didn't shoot a free throw. Six of 9 from the free throw line in the first half for the Monrose Titans. So we'll take a break, play a little video here at the half, and we'll be back on TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH. We're going to play a video we did for the state championship I8FA game earlier this year. We'll let you listen to that, talking about I8FA football here in the state of Illinois. And welcome to halftime here at the state championship game. And full disclosure, this is before the game.
Yeah, yep.
Here with Coach Lawler. And I guess you're back to being a coach, aren't you?
Well, yeah, they talked me into helping again, so I'm not the head coach, but I'm back coaching again. So.
Well, you coach a whole lot of people, because I've been going to some I8FA meetings, and you're the head man at those things. You're the coach of that deal.
Yeah, I guess.
Those meetings, you never stop being a head coach.
No, it's kind of in you once it's in you. So
President of the Illinois 8-Man Football Association, and you guys just continue to grow.
Yeah, we are. We're up to 30 teams, and there's a couple more coming next year. And we're hoping to get a couple of teams that couldn't field the team back for next year. So, we might have 30, 32, 34 guys playing next year. So
the football is just getting better and better every year, too, it seems like.
Well, last year's championship game was great, I thought. And I loved it especially because everybody thinks 8-man football is like arena ball.
Right.
And what did we see? A 12 to
7
game.
Something like that, 12-8.
Yeah, a great game. And I'm a defensive guy anyway, so I loved it. Yeah, I loved it.
This 8-man thing is going to be here. And I think you guys have proven that with your association. The elephant in the room is IHSA going to take it over? That probably is down the road, but judging from the meetings that I've been to with you guys, not this year, obviously, and probably not going to be next year.
No, I don't. I honestly don't expect it for 2 or 3, maybe 4 years yet. Honestly, I thought we were closer. I think there's some things that they're looking at, wondering how it's going to affect how they do their championship weekend. Trying to include an 8-man game. That's one of the things. I think the big thing is the enrollment, as you've heard us talk about at the meetings that you've been to. I think that's the stickler. Where do they draw that line? Where do we draw that line? We've dropped it down to 325. We started out 400. I think we're close. Now we're seeing what I thought we would see. I'm not telling you that I know everything, but we're seeing roster sizes grow again. And that's good because kids are having success. They're not getting pounded week after week by bigger, stronger teams with 40, 50 guys in the roster. So now we're seeing roster size grow. We don't want to talk about restricting rosters. That as long as I'm president, that won't happen. I want more kids to play football. So that won't happen. And I don't think the IHSA wants that either. But somewhere we got to find where is it fair and where it isn't fair anymore. So.
I mean, you're a long ways from being big enough for 2 classes, but the enrollment deal is kind of where that is, right? I mean, that's the reason why you keep that enrollment, so everybody that's in your group is ideally competitive.
Yeah, we kind of grandfathered in a couple of bigger schools, but I'll be honest, Dwayne, I've had schools as large as 700 enrollment ask about 8-man football. Now, you and I both know that's not why we started this.
Right.
We started this to save schools of 110 kids like mine and West Prairie and things like that. We didn't start it. I understand where they're coming from. They have a hard time getting kids out, 25, 30 kids out. But that's just not what this is about. It's about saving small town small school Friday night lights.
Do you feel like now that 8-man football in Illinois has solidified itself and people are recognizing it more now?
Oh, I sure do. Yeah, I think I've told you many times, I had some good friends say, "Are you crazy? What are you doing this for?" And I said, because we have to.
Right.
We have to. I mean, we had a pretty good tradition. We had an 11-year run straight in the playoffs, making it to quarterfinals, second round, and I saw it coming. It's like we're just running out of kids. It's not just us. It's other schools, and you've seen the schools that are in this now. They were 1A consistent playoff teams. And that's what we've got playing 8-man now.
Right.
And that's why the ball's getting better, too. So, yeah, it's coming. And has it changed the 11-man 1A and 2A? Sure has, which we knew was going to happen. It's going to change it a little more, too. So I think that's where we got to figure out, okay, where does this really lie before the IHSA takes it over? And honestly, I hope people think we're doing a pretty good job running it. I think we are. Everybody seems pretty happy, so – we'll see. Tonight we're going to crown a champion. Both of these schools and their kids, if you went down those locker rooms right now and asked them if they knew a difference what they were playing for, they ain't going to care when they hoist that trophy up.
Now, a couple of coaches are going to be here tonight. We had one on a pregame show, Coach Elder from Ridgewood. Coach Unruh's on the sideline, and Jim Unruh's from Carthage. Years, and I mean, multiple title champion.
Yep.
He loves 8-man.
Yeah.
I mean, this game is something that when you get to be a part of it, it feels like even the most successful and ingrained coaches like yourself realize it's really good football.
It's fun. I know when I first started, we started morphing to it a little bit with our JV squad because I knew it was going to happen, or I was going to have to make it happen, or we were going to have to do something different. It's fun because even for an old coach that's been around a long time, coached a lot of football, you're learning all over again, So this defensive thing, I still don't have it. Ted Alston's probably the guy that's got it figured out the best. Their defense.
He showed that last year.
Oh man, their defense is stout year in, year out. But
and sorry about that. We have to cut that a little short there. But we are back here with second half action as third quarter is underway. As Jerome Jackson back in the game to bring it up for Monrose as they get the ball to start the third quarter. And a 3-second violation called on Monrose, so it'll be right back to the Spartans. Now it looks like man pressure now. They were playing a bit of a zone trap full court before. Now it's man pressure. Avendano steals it away. C.J. Johnson with it now. Up top to Braun. Braun looks at the three. He's going to drive, pull up, 14-foot jumper. Off short. Almost looked like he lost it on the way up. Jake Johnson with it now. He's going to have it almost stripped away, and then he travels with it. I don't know how he got from the two spots without being called for a travel. Sandberg. So it's Vincent, Wes Sandberg. That's Jake Johnson with it right now. Also on the floor, Gavin Verhickey and number 55, Roy Sandberg, for the Spartans, who have a majority of their starters not on the floor. At least they have a majority of them, I guess, on the floor. 3 of the 5 were original starters. Ball tipped away. Johnson now is going to get called for the offensive foul. That'll be his second foul. Team's first of the second half. And tipped away, out of bounds. Possession stays with Ridgewood. Once again, live chat's open. Hop in there. Tell us where you're watching from and who you're cheering for. We'd love to see that. The cool thing about it is the kids go back and watch the game. They get to see who was cheering for them and who was here watching them. So hop in there. Let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to have some conversation with the folks in chat as well. There's a nice defensive play by Johnson. It's stolen away and then knocked away, but Jerome Jackson comes back with it. Down the corner, C.J. Johnson for 3. It's good. C.J. Johnson, give him 11. And it's the largest lead of the game. Kicked out of bounds by Vincent, and it's going to be to the Titans. 6:08 remaining here in quarter number 3, and the game's starting to slip away a little bit here for Ridgewood as it was 11 till the midpoint of the fourth or second quarter, and then it's kind of the wheels have fallen off a little bit. And maybe as much as the wheels falling off for Ridgewood is more that the Monmouth-Roseville has kind of come to life a bit here. As I said, all 8 games today going to be here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. Anderson with it, brings it up the floor for Ridgewood. He goes to a nice look for Verhecke, who couldn't finish. Verhecke got the bucket there. Shot on the way, off, no good. That was in and out by Avendano, and then Avendano gets the steal and going to be fouled. Vincent's going to pick up the foul, his third, team's first of the second half. He'll stay with Monrose. Checking in for Monrose is going to be Jake Steele. Checking in for the Spartans, number 42, Sean Watt. He's the one that took the hard spill at the end of the first half with 0.3 seconds remaining. Vincent's going to take a seat. C.J. Johnson down to Steele. Wanted to get it to Braun, couldn't do it. Up top it comes to Lewis Bresnahan. Now Avendano is going to drive. Steele with it now, and a nice bounce pass across the lane. Up top, Lewis Bresnahan for 3. It's in and out, no good. C.J. Johnson, go figure, another rebound. Second shot off, no good. Braun with the rebound. He'll put it up and in. Give him 4. And it's going to be saved inbounds. Johnson's going to get it, and he's going to get another layup. Give him 13. 4:48 remaining. 34-10. A 7-2 quarter so far for, and now a pass down low from Sandberg, stolen away by Steele. Not a very good pass through the middle of the lane. It's hard to get that pass through, and Steele made him pay. Steele now gives it to Avendano at the right elbow, down low to Braun. Braun's going to back it out. Avendano skips it across Steele for 3, left wing. Off, no good. I think they're going to call Braun for the foul away from the basketball and a rebound attempt. They are. That'll be his second, team second. 4:18 remaining. Once again, like and share this with your friends if you would, please, on whatever social media platform you prefer to use, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. We'd love to have you all watching today all day long. And this is just the first of 8 games. It's a little lopsided at the moment. We'll see if Ridgewood can find their way back into it here. Johnson gives it off to Sandberg. Sandberg wants the 3. Avendano guarding him. Up top it comes to Watt. Watt pump fakes, gives it back to Sandberg. Sandberg will loft the tray that time, and he hits it. Wes Sandberg gets his first points of the game. Lewis Bresnahan, step back, gives it to Avendano. Out to Braun for 3. It's long, no good. Avendano has the rebound, saves it in, but it's picked up by Anderson. Outlets it to Verhecke, and Verhecke is going to get bailed out because I really think he's the one that kicked that out, but they give it back to, as Lewis Bresnahan was just there, and Verhecke, I don't think, realized he was there. He turned and ran right into him and then lost the ball out of bounds. Watt with it now. Sandberg going to drive on Braun, dumps it, tries to get it to Verhecke, and it was a little high and hot for Verhecke to handle. It went right through his hands before he could get his hands up to catch it. They were trying to close. They just couldn't get closed in time. Subs coming in. Darian Smith coming in, Mahoney coming in, and Jerome Jackson checking back in for the Titans. Ty Anderson back in for the Spartans, as is Roy Sandberg. So it's Watt, Roy Sandberg, Francis, Anderson, and Anderson on the floor. Darian Smith gets the bucket. Give him 4. Nice motion play there for the Titans. Roy Sandberg. That's Owen Anderson. There's Watt driving. Oh, nice little layup. It won't fall, though, and a jump ball is going to be called. Should be possession to Ridgewood. So we'll try it again here. Roy Sandberg, Francis, Watt, Anderson, both Andersons actually, Ty Anderson and Owen Anderson, as the shot's blocked out of bounds. On the floor for the Spartans, it is Jerome Jackson, Steele, Avendano, Smith, and Mahoney on the floor for Monrose. Nice little give and go, tipped away. Jerome Jackson comes up with it, out to Avendano. Avendano puts the shot up and in. First points for him since the first quarter. He's got 9. And a pass over the head, and Sandberg can't track it down before it goes out of bounds. Goes back to Monrose now. 2:18 remaining here in the third quarter. 25-point lead for the Titans. Smith's going to try the three. It rattles around and goes in. Largest lead of the game is up to 28 for the Titans. Francis with it. Now to Watt. Double teamed out there. He gets it back to Francis. Picks up his dribble. Goes up top to Owen Anderson. Now Watt. Ty Anderson with it top of the key. Right side to Owen Anderson. He backs it out. Gives it to Watt. Steele tried to get in the passing lane. Couldn't get there. And down low it goes. And a jump ball is going to be called. Possession to Monrose. 1:29 remaining. Chance to make a 30-point lead here if they can get a bucket for Monrose. I believe we'll have a running fourth quarter if we get to 30 in the fourth quarter at some point. Pass down low, tipped away and picked up by Ty Anderson, but then stolen away by Smith, and he gets the layup to fall. Smith. Has 9. Trying to pass it across the lane. Jackson comes up with a steal. He outlets it to Smith. Again, a tough position to catch the ball, but he gets the bucket to fall anyway. He's got 11. And we're at 32-point lead now with 45 seconds remaining. Owen Anderson for 3. Nails it. 33 seconds remaining. Avendano now skips it across Jerome Jackson for 3. It's way off the mark. Tried to use the bank, whether on purpose or not, I don't know, but he tried to use the bank. It would not fall. 20 seconds remaining. Down to a 29-point lead. It was at 32 a moment ago. Sandberg for 2. It's off, no good. Francis with the rebound, and he's going to be fouled by Jerome Jackson, I do believe. It is Jackson's foul, his first, team's third. Francis shooting 2 here. Ryan Francis, the senior, hits the first. Second one is good as well. Smith can't make the shot, gets his own rebound. It's off, no good again. Mahoney with the rebound, put back, and it bounces out as well. 2 shots coming. The foul is on Watt. His first, team second. 2 free throws coming for number 22, Leo Mahoney. First one's off, no good. So what was a 32-point lead is down to 27. 5-0 run here for the Spartans. Missed them both. 3 on the way, no good for Owen Anderson, and that's how the quarter will end, 45-18. Monroe's over the Spartans. We'll be back in about 30 seconds on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH.
I went through MDH when we were trying to get pregnant. We were struggling the first year, and then when we got pregnant, I stayed at MDH and through labor and now for pediatrics. My experience was nothing short of phenomenal. I was met with amazing staff members who helped me through concerns that I had when she was first born, helping me learn how to be a new mom. It was really reassuring and comforting knowing that I had so much support and kindness around me. My entire pregnancy at MDH was amazing.
Well, I've always had an interest in the medical field, and then growing up, I actually went through physical therapy myself for an injury, and that got me back to playing my sports and the activities that I loved. So seeing that firsthand, I got to see how much physical therapy could really benefit others.
And welcome back to Abington Avon High School for the Great Western Shootout. Monroe's leading Ridgewood 45-18 as we enter the final quarter of the first game of the day. Farmington and Weathersfield due up next. Both teams were out at halftime warming up before this game, so they'll have their warm-up session before their game. But we'll take a break between every game today, in case you're wondering. We'll take a short break and open up a new stream for the next contest. So make sure you stay with us today and hop back and forth as we go to each stream. Johnson with it. Francis for 3. It's off left. Rebound to Braun. Outlets to Lewis Bresnahan, who tries to get it to Smith. Stolen away. Another turnover. Owen Anderson with it now. Sandberg gives it to Vincent now. Vincent, who's back in the game, goes down low to Francis. Sandberg for 3. It's off, no good. A long rebound to Owen Anderson. Man, big contact out there. No foul called, though. And it's going to be knocked out. Owen Anderson, I think, actually hit it, but Lewis Bresnahan went after it and stepped on the baseline when he did, and its possession stays with Ridgewood. Gets it into Francis. And a turnover as Anderson zigged when Sandberg thought he was zagging, and it ends up being a turnover. 45-18. C.J. Johnson with it. Up top, Darian Smith. He's going to loft up the tray. It's good. Darian Smith has 14. 2 threes. And it's a 30-point game again, and I believe the clock will continue to run now, except for timeouts. Vincent with it. Dumps it to Johnson. His shot's up and in. He's got 6. Steele dumps it out to Smith. He'll loft a tray from the corner. It's off, no good. Rebound saved in. Johnson comes up with a great hustle by Braun. Shots off, no good. Bouncing around, finally picked up off the ground. Lewis Bresnahan, and a foul's going to be called here. Clock will stay running. The foul's, he passed, so they're going to say it's on the floor, I think. Foul's going to be on number 11, Ryan Francis for Ridgewood. His second, team's third. It is a 28-point game, but it got up to 30. Johnson missed, and he almost had another rebound. I'd like to know how many rebounds that kid has. He has to have about 10 offensive rebounds. 3 on the way from a long ways away. Johnson somehow came down with it on the air ball. It's missed by Francis. Vincent came up with it. Now Smith goes back the other way for Monrose. He puts up the reverse layup. It bounces in and out. Francis comes down with the rebound. He gets it out to Owen Anderson, and he'll bring it across with 5:15 remaining. And a bit of a carry there maybe. Give and go. Anderson pulls up, and foul's going to be called on Jake Johnson. His second, team's fourth. Titans have the basketball, leading by 28. If you notice this quarter goes, or if you see the clock running, it's because they were up over 30 or at 30 a few minutes ago, so the clock doesn't stop now in the fourth quarter. Braun gets the rebound. He throws it up and almost went in. He's going to shoot two, I do believe. We'll see. Vincent's going to pick up foul number 4. Team foul number 5. Braun will be shooting 2. And again, the clock won't stop on this, folks. Braun's got 4 points in the game. He's looking for 5 and 6 here. First one is good. Checking in for Ridgewood is going to be number 14, Drew Beck, as Owen Anderson takes a seat. Drew Beck is a freshman. A lot of young kids playing for Ridgewood today. Second one's out the front of the rim, no good. Smith with the rebound. It's short. And into the game and picking up the foul is Vinicum. He picks up his first foul, team's fourth. Vincent inbounds. Sandberg brings it across now. And going to call a foul on Monmouth-Roseville Riverdine, number 35, I do believe. It is on Riverdine. His first, team's fifth. 2 free throws coming for Ridgewood's Jake Johnson. First one is good. Second one, good as well. He's got 8 in the game to lead the way for Ridgewood. Jordan Watson driving, bounces it across to Vinicum. And Vinicum makes the bucket. It's a 2. Sandberg. Beck gives it to Johnson. Johnson's going to drive and going to call him for a travel. Scratch that, folks. It wasn't Vinicum who made that shot on the far side. It was number 45, Ty Corsero, who got the bucket. So we'll fix that. And now somebody's got to come out. Francis was staying in. As there's a, I guess it's 24. I thought it was 34. I don't have that. Verhecke is back in the game. Watson drives, layup short. Verhecke with the rebound and going back the other way. Sandberg with it. And Verhecke gets the bucket. He's got 4. Caleb Miller in the game for Monrose as well. And a 3-second violation called, I believe it's going to be on Riverdine as we approach the 1-minute mark here. Once again, thanks for joining us. Next game will be in a separate stream. If you subscribe to the Hulett PubliPro LLC YouTube channel, you can get updates on when every stream pops up the rest of the day. 3 on the way by Sandberg off the right side of the rim, and Watt can't quite get there to save it back in. It goes out of bounds. Checking in for the Titans is James Blackman. Taking a seat is going to be number 43, Tyler Vinicum. 25 seconds remaining here. It's really Corsero lost it and then threw it across And Watson couldn't save it before it went half court. So that's pretty much how the game's going to end. Sandberg a chance to maybe loft one up here. Nope, he's going to give it to Beck. Watt will put up the three. It's off, no good. And that's how we'll end. Final score, 51-24. The Titans win against Ridgewood. We'll take a very quick break, and we'll be back with some stats here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH.
I went through MDH when we were trying to get pregnant. We were struggling the first year, and then when we got pregnant, I stayed at MDH and through labor and now for pediatrics. My experience was nothing short of phenomenal. I was met with amazing staff members who helped me through concerns that I had when she was first born, helping me learn how to be a new mom. It was really reassuring and comforting knowing that I had so much support and kindness around me. My entire pregnancy at MDH was amazing.
Welcome back. CJ Johnson is the MVP of game number one. Not a big surprise there. He finished with 13 points, but probably twice that many rebounds. I'd have to find out, but he had a bunch. So CJ Johnson, the MVP of game number one here at the Great Western Shootout. And real quick, we'll go through some stats. 24 points, 4 of 4 from the free throw line for the Ridgewood Spartans. 8 points for game high for Jake Johnson. 3 points for Owen Anderson. 3 points for Wes Sandberg. 2 points for Ryan Francis. 2 points for Ryle Couture. 4 points for Gavin Verhecke. And 2 points for Ty Anderson. For Monrose, a game high 14 actually for Darian Smith, 13 for C.J. Johnson, 4 for Jerome Jackson, who all came in the first quarter, 4 points for Nick Lewis Bresnahan, 0 for 2 from the free throw line for Leo Mahoney, and 9 points for Nico Avendano, and 2 points off the bench for Ty Corsaro. The Titans were just 7 of 13 from the charity stripe. So that'll do it for game number one. MVP is C.J. Johnson. We'll take a break. We'll be back in about 8 or 9 minutes with game number two. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. Then you can be ready for game number two. That'll be Farmington and Wethersfield. We'll be right back in just a few minutes.